welcome back to another Insider. This week we talk about NAATI and NAATI tests. We all know that if you live in Australia and you want to be a translator or an interpreter, you must go through NAATI certification. That's one of the requirements to work in the country. If you want to work with government agencies or even in the private sector in Australia, you sure have to do your NAATI certification, because it's one of the things that both private and public sector requires. But what should we do and how can we prepare for the NAATI test? Today I am going to give you a little insight of what you should do and what you shouldn't. So let's go. So let's talk about the NAATI test. As I said, for you to be able to work in Australia, you need to go through the NAATI test and get the NAATI certification. I have already mentioned this both in articles that I've written in the past and also in a few videos, that, for example, in my case, I did not sit the NAATI test because at the time there was still the older system, the older NAATI system of accreditation. And back then, NAATI recognized all professionals that had the deep trans from the Chartered Institute of Linguists, and who were also members of the Chartered Institute of Linguists, which I was back then, and that's why I was exempt from the test and I did not sit the test. However, I have been doing my back then re-accreditation every 3 years, and then when NAATI introduced the certification process, I went through the transition and I automatically transitioned to the certified translator, because NAATI obviously was satisfied with my credentials and with my work practice, because once when I actually transitioned in 2019, I already had quite a few years of career, so NAATI was satisfied because I was renewing my credentials every 3 years and I was providing them all the details of my working practice. So this was back then. Today it doesn't happen like that. So you really need to, first, you really need to understand what you have, and if it's recognized by NAATI, if it's not, whatever you've got, they have a list of recognized courses, endorsed courses, most of them in Australia. But of course, if you come from overseas, I'm pretty sure there will be some sort of recognition. What I advise you to do is to contact NAATI and know what's the procedure in regards to your current credentials, your university degree, or whatever you might have. So let's see what we can do. So first, you need to know the prerequisites and for the application and all the, like the requisites, everything. You need to get everything together. You need to know if your course is endorsed. If not, what you need to do. In some cases, you might need to sit a language test first. You also, and that's one of the requisites to actually become certified by NAATI, is that you adhere to the Code of Ethics. In our case, the AUSIT Code of Ethics. We all must adhere to our Code of Ethics. For example, in my case, I have to adhere to 2 Code of Ethics, the AUSIT, which I'm also a member, and the Chartered Institute of Linguists, because I'm also a Chartered Linguist there. So that is also very important. And then, of course, you fill in all the paperwork and you submit your application. Then comes the training and how you prepare for that test. So I would say NAATI provides some papers that automatically, when you sign in for the course, it's in your profile, in your My NAATI account, and you will have access to those particular papers if you sign in for the course, and you then can train on those papers. Recently, I attended a webinar, and NAATI is going to introduce something that I think it's really important, and it's something that I had already suggested to my mentees because I think is seriously important. I did it when I was preparing for my deep trans with the Chartered Institute of Linguists, and I considered that it's very important. I asked a colleague to proofread my papers, so I would have an idea of the quality of my work, if there was any errors that should be corrected, etc., etc. So I would recommend that. And NAATI, on that webinar that I attended recently, has announced that they will provide that. Obviously, you will have to pay a fee to have that done, but if you pay that fee, you will have those training papers. You will do it as if you were actually sitting the test, the NAATI test, and then you will have an examiner having a look at it and providing you feedback about your work. And I think that is important. And why do I think this is very important? Because if you have feedback, if you have someone looking into your work, you know where you can possibly improve. If there is anything that you should improve, you establish the quality of your work, if you are already doing a good job, if you need to do a much better job, because let's face it, the test is demanding, the test is not easy, and we need to ensure that we are prepared, so we possibly pass it at first, because it is very expensive as well, and we don't want to be obviously wasting money. So that is a good way of you knowing where you stand and what can be possibly be the problems within your work, or if everything is fine. So that is something that I consider very important. Apart from the papers that NAATI provides you, I would say I would read plenty of articles, both in English and in your LATI language. LATI, you know, stands for language other than English. So I would read plenty of articles in both of your languages, because that's what NAATI captures. That's exactly the same that happened with the Institute of Linguists. They usually take a little piece of an article or something like that for you to translate. So if you have already plenty of familiarity with this type of language and articles, you will be, I would say, more prepared and confident in tackling the exam with no issues. So I think it's very, very, very important that you just tackle it in, as I said before, do it as another day in the job, because that's what it is. Pick up your papers, be calm, try to sleep plenty, you know, have a nice restful night the night before the exam, and be as calm as possible. Face it as if it was any other project for another client that you were doing, because that way you can relax and you can do it better. This is what I did when I was doing my deep trance, and it worked, I passed. But before, make sure you prepare. Get the training material from NAATI, that is crucial. And if you have the opportunity of having that material, of having that feedback from NAATI, that would be even more important, even better for you, because you are having that feedback, and it's coming exactly from the source, which is NAATI, which is the body that is going to evaluate your test and possibly pass you or not. So that is important. If you have that opportunity, I would say it is a good one, because you will have that that feedback that will allow you to make changes if need to, and get you better prepared. Again, magazines, and if you translate articles from magazines, obviously NAATI won't be proofreading those, won't be providing you feedback on those. So if you have another colleague that works with the same pair of language as you do, please ask. Maybe they are happy to do that for you and proofread. I know for me, it was my dear colleague, Inês Lopes Bridges. She was working with me at Updated Words, and she was the co-founder of Updated Words. And at the time, she actually offered to do that for me, and it was a great idea that worked. So I had that feedback from her. She was proofreading my work. She was reading everything that I was doing, and she was telling me, look, maybe you can improve here, maybe you can improve there. Just relax, just do it. Because sometimes that's one of the things. Sometimes we are too tense. We don't. We just get overwhelmed with the job, and we ended up blocking ourselves and not letting our skills flow. And this is what Inês told me at the time. Just forget about everything. Just sit down and read the papers, read the text, and start translating as you would in any other day. And that's what I did. And things started coming through for me. And she said, you are doing a much better job. You are doing it because you are just relaxing and you are letting yourself do it naturally. And indeed, I did a good job. Sometimes you may have corrections, and at the time I had from the course that I had done. And sometimes you are too preoccupied with those corrections. You are too preoccupied with what you have done previously, and then you let that get in the way. Don't let it. Just go and translate. And if you have the opportunity of having someone proofreading it, then that would be gold, because it would provide you that feedback. It would provide you with that tool that will help you improve, and that will help you get more confident. Be calm, face it as another day at the job, as I said, and I'm pretty sure you will do okay. You just have to be natural. Remember, if you already have a course, if you already have that credential, if you already been 5 years in university, you already have the skill. That's what I tell my mentees all the time. And this is what I say to everyone. You already have the skill. Now you are just proving a regulating body what your credentials are. In this case, you are proving to NAATI that you are skilled, and that those skills are good enough for you to work in Australia, or in the UK for the Chartered Institute of Linguists, or anywhere where you're sitting a test to be certified or accredited, or whatever the situation might be in each particular body. In the case of NAATI, is certification. So this is the mindset that you should have. Believe me, It's all about mindset. And if you go to it with a positive mindset, and if you prepare yourself the best way you can, if you read plenty of articles in both languages, if you're doing, for example, from English to Lotte, read plenty of articles in English because you know you're going to translate those. But it's also important to read articles in Lotte because you need to see what type of languages is used, what type of wording is usually used in those sorts of articles, because obviously you want to be fluent, culturally fluent, that is, and you want to use the same type of language to fit in that context per se. For example, if you're doing, or if the exam shows an article about, I don't know, about a piece of machinery, you might need to look into what that type of article usually has in the language that you are going to translate to, so you are familiar with the language, you are familiar with the terms used, and with that you will waste less time looking for difficult terms, because if you already read plenty and if you already have a very good background on language, vocabulary, etc., that will help you complete the task faster, and that will help you be more confident. That's what I think it's really, really, really important. Today, I hope you really enjoyed this, and I hope it gave you a little bit of a hint on how you should face the NAATI test. I know, and I've learned from my mentees that sometimes it's not easy to pass this test, and a lot of them are unsuccessful. But if you really tackle this, and if you really get all this preparation and try to tackle this the best way possible, being really focused on vocabulary, rules, read the rules and the criteria for the evaluation of these tests, so you know exactly what they are going to be looking for, and then you know what you should be doing. I know that in terms of proofreading, NAATI does not provide much feedback. I've contacted NAATI about that, but nothing we can do about it. So keep on proofreading, keep on doing it. And if you have someone that can look into it, much better, because then you can get better and better and better at that. And just go confident, just go calmly as another day in the job. And I think it will be a very good thing. You know, this can be, is part of my course, Getting the Right Qualifications as a Translator. I talk about NAATI and also the Chartered Institute of Linguists, because I am a member of both. And I'll discuss there the preparation, etc. For these courses, and I think it's good. So if you want to purchase this course, you know I have my school at Teachable, my updated words learning at Teachable, where you can find all my 3 courses. The first one is Choosing the Right Qualifications as in Translation, which tells you all the career paths possible to become a translator, how to harvest possible existing skills, etc. Choose the right qualification, preparing yourself to do the job, what the job entails, what you should be doing, etc. Choosing the ideal client. Then I also have the business course for translators, because we are business people and we should stay away from that idea that we are just a freelancer trying to get an extra buck. That's not the case. We are business people and we are running our business. We do this full time, and that's what it is. And there you learn how to do your marketing plan, your business plan. You have all that we do your financial plan, get everything ready to start your business. And this year I published another course. Even though in the business course I mentioned about creating your own tools, I decided to go deep, and this year in Jan I published my third course that is specifically building your tools, your management system, your glossaries, your invoicing system, even your timesheet support if you need one. So you can access to all of this in my Teachable School, Updated Words Learning, and then you can combine it. You can either buy the courses individually and buy the ones you want, or you can combine them according to your needs. If you just want the business and qualifications course, you can buy the Pro Pack. Then if you really, if you already established and you just want to take your business to another level, maybe your the best option for you would be the full business program, where you can buy the business course and the tools course and have 5 mentoring sessions with me where we can discuss things. And of course, if you are starting your career and you really want a full comprehensive overview of what you need to start, then you can go for the full mentoring program, where you can have access to the 3 courses and 15 mentoring sessions with me. That is at my school. Please visit my school and come with me. I'm here to help you. Now, let's go and finish this video. Put a like and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new insight every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.